Take another trip back in time. Back to the Future Part 2.
Something very familiar about all this. What is? Nothing but deja vu.
Hello, anybody home? Time traveling is just too dangerous.
Future. Unbelievable.
Michael J. Fox stars in Back to the Future Part 2, Saturday at 6 on BBC One.
Harry and Meghan Toos were shot dead at this farm in Wales. Maybe a Crime Watch viewer can help explain the motive. Or will you find you recognise the man who raped and nearly killed a teenager on a July afternoon? In Halifax, a jeweller's was robbed by armed men who fled on a stolen high-powered bike. Maybe you'll know them. That's Crime Watch UK tomorrow night at 9:30. We'll be waiting for your call.
And now here's Anne Robinson with your points of view.
Good evening, and we thought it was never going to happen, but last night Arthur finally did it.
I've been having an affair
You?
for the past year. I've been seeing someone else.
Well, catastrophic for Pauline. Enough with luck to send her back to Kiwiland, but the high drama in the Fowler household was well and truly pipped to the post by Nick Cotton, who took a knife to Nigel and caused 20 calls to duty office saying this sort of thing.
Yet again, the BBC confuses drama with violence. I had to send the children out of the room. It was totally unsuitable.
And they've also been doing what Arthur's been doing in Neighbours, and that too has produced some sparky views on what is suitable for children in the early evening and what is not.
I'm finding it hard to contain my anger at the people writing to criticise the plots of Neighbours, which include making love, condoms, vasectomies and teenage pregnancy.
Sarah Buchanan from Devon says she doesn't wish to be rude and...
I'm not terribly left-wing, but do these people wrap themselves and their children in cotton wool? These issues are life. There's no escaping it.
Jamie Nairn of Northampton wanted to address the criticism of a viewer from Leeds who last week complained her 9-year-old was asking questions about Neighbours on matters she as a mother had not yet considered suitable for discussion.
Instead of hiding her daughter from everyday occurrences in life, sex, pregnancies and female menopause, she could be using them as an aid to educating her daughter. If her 9-year-old is not old enough to be taught about the facts of life, she will not understand what is happening, and therefore I can see no problem.
Screen One returned on Sunday, and it was a spectacular launch. Wide-eyed and legless tell the poignant and true story of a woman's struggle against a mystery wasting illness and the doctors who refused to take her seriously. It starred Julie Walters, Jim Broadbent and Thora Hird, and the script, rich in humour, as Diana Longden and her husband battle with uncrushable determination against hopeless odds, was all you would expect from the pen of a master, Jack Rosenthal.
5 years ago, I got the flu. Or it was what we thought was the flu. The flu got better and I got worse.
Then came the pain. First her arms, then her legs, then everywhere. Her hands began to bunch up.
Yeah, and into claws.
And bend in on themselves.
Well, I have to wear these bloody things. In a couple of weeks, these will buckle and snap under the strain. A bit like I'd like to do.
Every day she's more exhausted, more paralysed.
Well, yeah, some days I'm better than others.
She has more and more pain, more and more blackouts. All we want to know is what's wrong with her.
Dozens of appreciative calls, interestingly on both Sunday and Monday evenings, suggesting there had wisely been much videoing of the film. Anne Bennett from Purley rang to say,
I'm an ME sufferer, disabled and in a very bad way. The ill treatment from doctors in the film is exactly what it was like and still is. It also highlighted the problem of being misunderstood, the problems of relationships within families. It was very, very well done.
Many viewers were optimistic that Wide-Eyed and Legless would encourage a more sympathetic attitude. Peter Dalton of Leicester says he's seen the disease firsthand and...
It's to be hoped that because of the play we can look forward to a more understanding approach from doctors and the public at large. As the film made clear, the attitude of the professionals is as important as the treatment given.
There were even some gentlemanly admissions that the film had produced the odd, unexpected sob. Mike Manley in Osford said,
I seldom get emotional about television programmes, but this excellent work really got me going. And it's the first time, as far as I can remember, that I actually shed a tear. All the main actors were outstanding, but I was rolling about with laughter whenever Thora Hird appeared.
Yes, vintage Thora playing Derek's mother.
These sleeping pills have to get. You know what strength they are?
I know what colour. Pink.
May I?
You make me a very happy man.
The doctor didn't write it on the prescription, you see. And he's not there now, and I can't dispense them unless I know the strength.
Well, you don't have to worry, Chuck. I never take them anyway.
According to my records, you've had 60 Sonoril tablets a month for the past 5 years.
Correct. Nellie Elliott sucks most of them, and Mrs. Next Door sometimes bothers a few when the sister's had a bad night with the chickens.
2 new nature series have begun. Nature by Design compares the designs of man and beast. I've never thought of drag racers and bison in the same breath, but here they come.
Unlike the oceans, which provide a fairly stable environment, the land is a harsh, sometimes violent place to live. Self-protection is crucial.
And there were 2 schools of thought on the first programme of the new series. Mrs. Price, from Nowhere in Particular, will speak for those in favour, of which there were several.
A brilliant programme, a simple but effective idea. Well done.
Others objected to what they saw as evolution being presented as fact rather than theory. Mr. Moores in the Isle of Wight said he was
astonished by the unsubstantiated evidence and false facts. The programme should have put across more ideas about how evolution took place.
Also new Nature Detectives, which looks at wildlife through the eyes of the public. Remember, in the first programme last week, Blondylocks Chris Packen, the presenter, was gushing about foxes, and Mrs. Shirley Bloom wrote to say I should Coco, and had he never been knee-deep in little foxy craps. Anyway, this week Margaret Heathcote pleads,
please show again the pair of robins feeding the cuckoo chick.
For those not familiar with the modus operandi of cuckoos, they find a robin or a reed warbler's nest, chuck out the eggs, lay their own, and the poor old mother robin, usually such a bright bird, then feeds the baby cuckoos with no questions asked.
There she is now. Do you know these little robins have to come and feed this baby 20 times an hour? They get through an enormous amount of food. I think the little robin's whole life is taken up with feeding this monster.
I bet the robin hates it when that happens. Murray Walker, bustling in without so much as a by your leave, has upset no end of language scholars. It was this bit from the Belgium Grand Prix. Astonishing it's come round again so quickly. Anyway, here's a little bit of the winners and quite a lot of Murray.
J'ai pensé pouvoir contrôler la course très facilement au début.
There's a new procedure here. Everybody speaks their own language, and since Alain Prost has naturally gone into his, and Schumacher will be doing the same in German, and we don't imagine that all that many people watching at home will be able to speak English, French and German. It's time for us to leave a very...
Oh dear, Mr. A.P. Cosgrove was cross in several languages.
Warum? Pourquoi? Pourquoi?
That is actually Y-O-Y, which is absolutely verboten on this programme, but we'll make an exception since it's in a different tongue or two. What Mr. Cosgrove wants to know is why.
All our commentators talk over our foreign neighbours. Murray Walker's presumption last Sunday that it wasn't worth listening to Schumacher and Prost once they began speaking in their native tongue is yet another example of how the British media help to protect our monolingual arrogance.
Finally, a bit of fishing, or a passion for angling, a new series in which top anglers, Chris Yates and Bob James, take viewers on a grand adventure across Britain. Rachel Bushell from Aldershot rang in some surprise.
It was the most beautiful programme on Sunday, stunning and romantically filmed. And the weird thing is, it was about fishing, and I sat there and watched it.
I'll leave you with a little bit.
Whether you catch a fish or not, the most magical aspect of angling is that it takes you to another world. A more beautiful, peaceful place. A world of water, of sun-rippled rivers and mist-shrouded pools.
A judge killed by an exploding gavel seems